on the YouTube, and I thought this would be fun to start our Halloween episode, Mike, is to do some mummy rapping. So if everybody could join along.
Wow, this is interesting. First I've heard of it. I like that.
Right. So oftentimes we have sing-alongs, especially for our theme song and such. And so today we don't have much. We don't have our typical theme song. We're just going to do some mummy rapping. And
a picture, by the way, of the mayor of Molokai.
So Mike is gonna lead us all in the song. He doesn't know the words, neither do you, and we're gonna just rap the mummy rap. Everybody,
well, I'll go through it one time.
And you can make up your own words with Mike. Mike's gonna make up his own words.
There's no bouncing golden. You can come along. Mummy's got game.
Mummy's got game.
Mummy's got
Mommy
game.
drops pain.
So
Mommy drops pain.
Pain.
No, not pain. Pain.
Pain.
I don't think you have to correct us.
No, I have to correct you. Mummy's so fresh.
Mummy's
so fresh.
Mommy gets mom's spaghetti.
So mommy gets
mom's spaghetti.
Your mommy's so old.
Your
mommy's so old.
Mommy says, I owe Ramses a quarter.
Mommy says, I owe
Ramses a quarter. I just got that.
Who's got the mummy?
Who's got the
mummy?
Who's got the mummy?
We got the mummy.
We got the mummy. Who's got the mummy?
Who's got
We got the mummy.
Who's got
the mummy?
Who's got
mummy?
Who's got
Emily, I think you really figured out what I was going for there.
Mummy!
Jacob Jonas, way to nail it.
Put a gun up to his head. Pull the bullet.
And
he's already dead.
Welcome, iPhone. Glad to have you aboard. And we're hoping to get Phil Corridor here, our VIP. You're watching the ApocaLips Comedy Show. This is our virtual Halloween party.
And well-known Denver comic, by the way, Phil Corridor.
That's very good comic.
Comedian.
He is a very good comic, and he's also apparently a very good fire watcher in Montana at the moment. Maybe we'll hear a little bit more about that later in the show. I'm sorry, Chuck, I interrupted you.
No,
but
just apparently a great customer, we're cruising through Mike, showing folks the various showrooms we've got here at the ApocaLips. The VIP sit down front, and balcony seating is for general admission. No masks up there. It's Mike's family from Michigan.
That's the Michigan section.
Yep. When I see the curtain, I know it's time for the show. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome what I think is probably one of the greatest internet comedy shows to ever possibly exist on a Sunday night in October on the 25th, say in 2020. That's us, gang. That's us. Welcome.
You narrow it down enough, it's going to be the best show.
To the ApocaLips Comedy Show. On the left is Mike Langworthy. On the right.
God damn it. I left the house with my Golden Globe in my hand again. I just hate that. I hate that because it always looks like I'm trying to draw attention to the fact that I'm an award-winning writer with tremendous experience and a great deal of tradition behind what I do. And I just, humility is one of my best qualities, and I hate it when I let that down. I have a lot of great qualities, but humility, I'm probably the most humble man you're going to see.
On the menu tonight, humble pie. Mike has got buckets full of it, and Phil Corridor is here, so I'm thrilled. Our VIP is in the house.
Plan to vote, please.
We do have a sponsor. It's Plan to Vote, Please. They're really thrilled with the show, so they bought Mike a brand new Speedster.
Yep, a teardrop-shaped roadster, and I like that because I'm planning on voting. Not only am I planning on voting, I have voted.
Right.
I am voted.
Gosh, those top down tonight, Mike. That puts the top down tonight, Mike. That puts the burr in carburetor. I can't believe I got a laugh out of you on that one. I'm very embarrassed.
Sure did. It was sincere as hell.
embarrassed, Mike. Speaking of embarrassed, I've brought the audience to the writing room here at the Colorado Comedy Show's virtual event center.
Well, it's,
That's our writing room.
you
Gorgeous
shouldn't be
view of the
embarrassed.
Rockies, snow-capped. We're lucky. It makes me want to write every time I see it, Mike.
Yeah, really? It's funny because it's hard that you can't even see the mountains because there's this big fragile thing in the middle of it that looks surprisingly like
Careful, don't laugh too loud, everybody. It's fragile, okay? And
what is it
shatter.
exactly, Chuck? Could you lighten us up about that? Could
Gosh,
you
Mike,
tell us
it's
what that is?
possible. I think I might have left my Kennedy Center Award for Innovative Teaching out on the table again.
What?
36
Now
episodes.
Now's
in a
who's
row.
embarrassed about self-promotion, huh?
I can't believe you're carrying your award and I'm carrying mine.
I know. Look at this.
Just in time for holiday parties, you can book this award-winning duo for your corporate event. And, Mike, today, I'm a little nervous about today's field trip. I thought we'd take the gang trick-or-treating around the neighborhood.
Sure.
That's your green
Why
room.
are we stopping at my house first?
Well, it's so festive and whatnot. So I thought we'd get to your neighborhood. Mike lives down the road from the Waltons. I don't know if you've ever been there. But,
I don't live in the upscale portion of Walton's Mountain.
no, little creepy and dark out here tonight, Mike.
This is actually the backyard of my house where I have a 4-story outhouse.
I wonder if we'll even be willing to knock on a door. So everybody,
3 doors down from where the Prime Minister of England lives.
yeah, gonna need you
Number
all to
7
yell
Downing.
trick or treat, and we'll see if the door opens and whether you get a trick or treat. So on the count of 3, everybody, 1, 2, 3.
Trick or
Trick
treat.
or treat.
Oh, that was great, everybody. Oh, all you got was us right now. I guess I did the prompt too early. Oh, the door open.
I guess they've got a trick for Chuck tonight.
I didn't even see that joke
A
coming.
trick and a treat.
It's a trick and a treat.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
he learned his trade in juvie.
All I'm saying is the Wikipedia page for Bieber is plentiful.
Is that actually him?
I think so.
Oh
I
my
hope
God.
so.
3 doors down from our original place. Justin Bieber. Unbelievable what kind of a thing we're having tonight.
Right. If you don't all know, Mike is good neighbors with not only Waltons, the Waltons, but lives right down the street from number 10 Downing Street in London, which is virtually impossible, except totally possible in Mike's world.
It's interesting because Boris Johnson gives away COVID masks.
Right. I'm glad you mentioned that.
And he never
Boris,
wears them. So
right. So
go to trick or treat at number 10 Downing Street, he just throws a mask in your bag and says, "Get the fuck out of here."
that's a good trick or a treat. Mike, can you said the right name, and I just, can you remind us again name of the Prime Minister? And
Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson, right? No potential for any sort of
Interestingly
innuendo.
enough, that was the name that Justin Bieber used to use on Pornhub. In the previous picture, that's how he referred to himself. Hi.
Well, believer fevers, gather around, and let's trick or treat number 10 Downing Street, everybody.
Street?
So here we go. On 1, 2, 3. Trick or treat. Oh wow! Oh, it's a big Johnson. All right.
Here's a guy with swollen ankles.
Well, something was, yeah.
You know the amazing thing about this? We have a global pandemic. This guy is head to foot in a costume. No mask. Head to foot in a costume, no mask. That's how they go trick-or-treating in Michigan, my friend. Why? Science is just a theory.
Mike, a costume like that takes balls.
Absolutely.
But
Oh,
why
hey,
do
you know
we-
what? I see a name here on your.
Mike, we needed to get a funny comedian after that. So I
Okay,
thought I
be
booked
patient,
us
everybody.
a few. I booked us a few. Thank God we have a crew of funny
Our
comedians.
first guy up.
First guy.
He's awesome. He used to come and perform a lot. Remember when
Mike,
places outside your home were a thing?
remember we had shows. They were in person.
Yeah, it shows where you could be, right next to the guy. And
People came to them, and we all
Yeah.
looked forward with joy. We'd be like, Jacob is here. This is going to be a funny set.
And you know what the audience would say? Wow, when's Jacob Jonas coming on?
Uh-huh. You, ladies and gentlemen,
longer because Jacob Jonas is coming on.
You've got a treat.
Not to
ladies
me.
and
He
gentlemen.
doesn't come on to me. Not
Right.
he doesn't swing that way, and he's not an old fucker anyway. But so that's okay. I don't know. But anyway, Jacob Jonas, a round of applause, please.
Thank you. Thank you for that fantastic intro. Holy shit. I don't even know how to follow that. That's so many emotions. Anyway.
There's so many people to thank, Jacob.
So many emotions. Guys, give it up for Chuck Roy and Mike Langworthy. They're fantastic. This is an amazing show, ApocaLips. Guys, this is a great venue. This is a great venue here. They have a cool deal. If you have 102 fever, you get a free drink. So I've been doing that joke at restaurants for the past, I don't know, 2 weeks. They fucking hate it. They absolutely hate me. But we're having fun, guys. You might notice I'm in a sweatshirt. I have like 3 layers on because I live in a basement apartment, and as you guys are aware, outside it's pretty cold. Here's the cool thing: I have a radiator in this apartment, but it's attached to the ceiling, and as all of you know, heat rises, so it gets probably the top 1 foot of my apartment warm, and then the rest of my apartment is still basement cold. Awesome. It's really good to know that I'm paying to have my upstairs neighbor's floors heated, which is amazing. It's very fun. Guys, as you know, I've said it multiple times, I'm Jewish. I was born Jewish, raised Jewish. I had a bar mitzvah. My bar mitzvah was actually at Coors Field about 11 years ago. Here's the thing. They played the clean version of Get Low by Little John at my bar mitzvah 11 years ago. And I still think about that sometimes. Here's the fucked up thing. They switched the song right as it started to get explicit. Like all my friends and I, we were vibing. We were like, to the window, to the wall, to the wall. The sweat drops down my Havana Gila, Havana Gila, bum, 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 bum. It's all right. My friends and I, we were rolling. We were tripping on acid. It was fun. What else? Oh, I was thinking about this the other day. The thing with Judaism is that, like, Jews, we don't really want more Jews. Like, we're kind of we just don't want more Jews. Like, in order to convert to Judaism, you need to meet with a rabbi on 3 separate occasions, which I'm assuming is just the rabbi going, "Are you sure?" That's fun. Being Jewish, I have yet to see Schindler's List, but I've heard a bunch of people talk about it, so I get the Schindler's gist. So for the past like 4 months, for the past 4 months, I've been umpiring Little League Baseball, just as like a side job. Here's the thing that pisses me off about umpiring. Okay, when I umpire baseball, I umpire like 9-year-olds, like 9 to 12-year-olds. When I umpire, I look fucking good. Okay, like I don't want to flex on you guys. Like I'm not trying to be a dick. Like I'm not trying to be an arrogant dick. But like, I umpire. I have pressed slacks on. I have long black socks. I have a black undershirt, light blue jersey, matte black hat. I'm clean shaven. When I walk out on that field, I'm fucking dripping. Okay, like I'm flossing on these kids. and nobody says anything about it. The only thing the parents talk about is how they can smell alcohol on my breath. So that's very fun. I do umpire. I actually this past weekend was it was the World Series for umpiring. It was the finales of the fall season, and so I was behind the plate. I was umpiring yesterday, and it was like really intense. Like it was fucking stressful because like these are the last games and everyone wants to win. And so I'm behind the plate and I'm counting balls and strikes. And about halfway through this kid's set, I realized that I've completely lost track of the count. Like I have no idea how many balls there are. I have no idea how many strikes there are. And I'm like, I'm fucked, because like everyone looks to me. Like the parents will be mad. The coaches will be mad. The other umpire is going to be mad. Luckily, the kid was hit in the face with a ball. Just like straight right to the side.
Charmed life, Jacob.
I was like, thank God,
Ball 4
everywhere, brain damage, but I was like, there's really somebody looking out for me, so it was very fun. As you guys know, the Colorado mailed out their ballots. I just voted, just dropped off my ballot. There's something called Prop 115, which is about abortion on the ballot. I just want to come out and say it. I'm very pro-choice, super pro-choice. I believe in abortion all the way up until 192 weeks. Okay. If the kid is 3.5 years old and he's still drawing with crayon and shit on your wall, he won't shut the fuck up. Just do it. I don't care. You can still use a coat hanger. I don't give a fuck. He's your. I actually did that joke in Pagosa Springs yesterday. Did not go well at all. Very, very red area. What else do I got? I was here's a funny thing. I was on Facebook the other day and I saw a PETA ad. It was a people against for ethical treatment of animals, and it was a PETA ad, but it was anti-cockfighting, like it was anti-chicken fights. And I was like, yo, like PETA needs to get their fucking priorities straight, because like every single day is a chicken holocaust. Like millions of chickens die every single day. Like 3 million chickens have died since I started this joke. Here's the thing. Don't you think that any of those chickens locked in those Tyson cages would fucking kill for a chance at glory in the ring? You know what I mean? Like, you can't take away those chicken, like you can't take away cockfighting because you're taking away their only chance at freedom and redemption. Okay, so that's where I stand on that issue. What's been going on? I'll leave you with this. I know that it's been a hard time, with the global pandemic and the fall of democracy and the rise of fascism and everything. I just want you guys to know this is just okay. Like we're just like, this is not your whole story. It's just a temporary chapter. Like for me personally, I'm still in my masturbating and crying chapter. I've been in it for like 4 months. I have no idea when it's going to end, but every day I wake up and I keep reading. Okay. I'm pretty sure all the pages are stuck together. Anyway, I think that's all I have. Thank you guys so much.
Jonas.
Thank you.
Gentlemen. Oh, look.
Oh,
It's our brand new dog, Nessie. Hey, Jacob, that was really good, man. Pagosa Springs.
Hey, thank you.
Probably the reason they didn't like that joke is that Pagosa Springs is the wire coat hanger capital of the and they like to think of themselves as people who are supporting clothing as opposed to premature death. That's all right. It's okay. Just so you know, we're on the same page about the pro-choice. For heaven's sakes. By the way,
what's your costume today, Mike? Hole digger?
Well, as soon as you get done laughing, we'll see if anybody else thought it was funny.
All right.
No, it's all right.
We're gonna
I don't mind. I don't mind. Yeah, I'll dig a hole in for myself.
the graves of the unborn children.
I beg your pardon? You're grieving for the unborn children? Is
The
that what-
graves for the unborn children. That's what you're digging.
Oh, yes. Good. You know what I like about that? They could be shallow graves. I'm already used to those. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I can just imagine the new people on the shore going, "What the fuck?" I mean, gee, they said it was a comedy show. It's just this curmudgeon talking about mass murders. All right, hey, you know what? That's who I am, man. And I don't apologize for it. You know, it looks as though we have another comedian coming up based on what the screen is saying here. Would you like to bring our next comedian on?
Sure, Mike. She's popular on your Monday night show, the open mic show, and we enjoy having her there and thought we'd invite her here. Would you please welcome Christina Kleemann?
Yay! Christina Kleemann, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi guys, happy Sunday. I just realized that this shirt makes me look pregnant, but I'm not. I'm just really fat. Thank you for shooting. I would just like to say that Jacob Jonas is Jewish and I'm German, and I have seen Schindler's List, and even though I was concentrating on Jacob's jokes, I'm not going to stick him in a camp. So that's a stupid joke. Anyway, you guys, I've been doing quite a lot of counseling therapy during the pandemic, because who doesn't want to understand how fuck they are? And I used to think that I didn't have a fuckable face, and I'm happy to say that I do have a fuckable face, and I have been face fucked. So, yay for daily affirmations. I'm going to tell you guys 3 different things. They all involve a Karen. So yesterday I got up and I was doing a little bit of Uber driving, and I was somewhere downtown Denver, or like somewhere in Lakewood or something. And I was at this crazy ass intersection with these 2 Uber passengers, and I was trying to make a left-hand turn, but the intersection was too busy. So I accidentally backed into this other vehicle going like less than 1 mile per hour. And she's being a total Karen about it. And she's basically trying to say that I wrecked her car, even though there were no damages. And she definitely does not have a fuckable face. So just be careful, everybody, for driving. They suck ass. As you guys know, I grew up in North Dakota.
Yeah.
That's okay. Hold the applause. Okay, it's okay. Hold the applause. But I grew up in North Dakota, and a lot of the men that I've had my mouth in before in the past, but a lot of the men have been like my mattresses, you know, heavy, white, and full of cum. Or it's a this is actually a real story, you guys, that happened. So as you guys know, I grew up in North Dakota, and I was in my, I know, right? First of all, I just want to tell you guys, my face looks like I have a 75 IQ, which I do. Or actually it's 76, you know, but you know, 75 back then. And I was, which is why I look up Mike for advice, even though I never take it. So that's fine. But it was a Friday, right? And I had a biology test that I had to study for on Monday. And my learning disabled teacher was like, well, you have a choice. You can either play a game or you can study for your biology test. And I was like, I'm going to study for my test. You know, I'm going to get a head start on it. And I was feeling super smart, you know, for the 76 IQ. I was feeling super smart. And I was like, wow, I made a good decision. Aren't I smart? And she looked across the table and she's like, you're not that smart or you wouldn't be in here. Then I kicked teach that little biology whore. Her name was Nancy Storick, but I also call her a Karen. So she's, you know, she had kids, but hopefully her kids have died. So it's, you know, we don't running around. Also, the other person. Okay, I don't mean to be a bitch. Well, no, I do. Okay, I like the word cunt. I'm sure a lot of people get offended by it. I like the word cunt, and I also enjoy more of a creative comic than I am right now at this very moment. But when I brag, I brag. But my manager had fired me back in January, after I was there for 3.5 years, and she claimed that it was nothing personal. I didn't see it coming because I thought I was a good employee. Yeah, I got by with some shit. I thought I was a good employee. And I really hope that her kid gets SIDS or that he eats a fucking Tide Pod. You know, there's always time for happiness. Another story I have, guys, is that literally, after my parents had gotten a divorce, my mom had taken all of us kids and we were living in the same complex with my dad, right? And I would like to tell you guys that when I was younger, I pissed my bed, much like I still do. You know, I try to bring back childhood memories as best I can. And my mom had literally called the police because I was 16 at the time. My brother was 9. Apparently I was chaotic and my brother was stinky, right? So we go down to the police station and my dad gets off work and he's like, what the hell happened? And I was like, well, mom thinks that I'm chaotic and my brother's stinky. So we were down there for 5 hours. But before that, I went into the police car and, you know, the police officer was like dispatching whoever. And I thought, oh shit, we're in trouble. And I didn't know what the hell to make of it. I was like, I thought we were going to get arrested, charged with something. I had no idea. And so the police officer said over the radio that he was bringing in 2 juveniles. And I was like, what does juvenile mean? Does that mean that we're in trouble? So after my dad picks this up, we go back to my house and I asked my mom what the fuck her problem is. And then I kicked her right in the pussy. Okay, guys, that's my time. Thank you.
Well, it's nice to see a functional family on the show once in a while.
All right, good share. Good share.
You know, Chaotic and Stinky is going to be a new late night show on the Comedy Network. Chaotic and Stinky on Adult Swim coming this fall. And you used to piss the bed when you were a kid, but now it's for money, right?
That's
Anyway,
right.
yeah, I was just wondering, just trying to make sure. Let's bring our next performer on right away. Chuck?
Yes. Mike, please welcome, by popular demand, Kelsey Hewlett, everybody.
Love her. Kelsey Hewlett, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, y'all. Yeah,
Hey.
It is so good to see all of your faces. You know, we're in a global pandemic. That is, if you believe all the scientists and doctors and nurses and epidemiologists and academics, and all their wacko alarmist theories, we have the highest rate of coronavirus in the nation, and we are spiraling toward another day of record infections. That is, unless you believe that it's all a political hoax, and then it's okay, I think. The key to surviving this current crisis that we're in is figuring out how to discern who is a reliable source of accurate information. So, you know, it could be the frontline healthcare workers and all their peer-reviewed data, or it could be, hear me out, it could be Bubba Wayne down at the Beer Bait and Tackle, whose cousin heard about somebody who created coronavirus in a lab with George Soros so that they could then create a vaccine to inject us all with socialism and Sharia law. So I live in Los Angeles, but I've spent the majority of lockdown in my home state of Oklahoma. I was only in Oklahoma for like, I don't know, just a few months, but I already have diabetes, a Cherokee Casino rewards card, 11 guns, and a mega church ministry group praying for my salvation. Despite all of the wide open spaces and ample room for social distancing, COVID numbers are really, really high in Oklahoma because Okies tend to believe that science is this like big city hippy dippy voodoo. So you can ask any Okie about any problem the world faces, big or small, and the solution is always the same. It's duct tape and WD-40. A squeaky door, a broken kitchen lamp, engine literally falling out of your car, duct tape, and WD-40. Now, this is kind of a side note, but I was Googling uses for WD-40, and one of the results that I found was for cologne. People use it as a damn cologne. I mean, there's nothing that country folks won't do with WD-40. So I know that this sounds like the most useless possible antidote to a global pandemic, but I got to thinking that Okies might really be onto something. We could just slide some duct tape over Donald Trump's mouth and then normalize spraying every publicly unmasked person in the face with WD-40. We could have this in 2 weeks. I know that COVID has had a big effect on a lot of our lives. I mean, we can't really go out without masks anymore. We can't shake hands. And sadly, we can't gather together for this ApocaLips comedy show. But I have discovered a few things that you can safely do during a pandemic, and I'd like to share them with you. So it is very safe to sit on a bench outside of a CVS and slowly lick a popsicle while winking at the elderly folks walking in. It is very safe to fake your own birthday and gift yourself a cameo video call with Tootie from The Facts of Life. And it is totally 100% safe to symbolically adopt elephants from the World Wildlife Fund and then name them after your favorite Spice Girls. So, certainly a lot has changed in the last several months. I wouldn't want to go through any of it again, but I take solace in knowing that 50 years from now, when I have 4 inexplicable jars of hard candy in my living room and I'm yelling at little kids to get off my lawn, they will smile at each other sweetly and say, be nice to her. She's a 2020 survivor. That's all I got. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
Kelsey Hewlett, ladies and gentlemen. It's rare that I manage to mispronounce somebody's name in 2 completely different ways in one show, but I managed to do it with Kelsey. And I think I deserve just a little bit of credit for that.
Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Of course, I don't know if you're a true Oklahoman, it won't really matter because as long as I called you something, right? Am I right?
Call me something. Call me hoss. Call me dog. Yeah. That's how they do it out there.
Sharia law. I like that. Being injected with
Yes.
Sharia law. Sharia Lewis. She used to, well, anyway, never mind. Let's not get into that. Emily is going to perform?
Yes.
Yay. Emily Cornelius, ladies and gentlemen. She's also someone that has been on this show several times and is often on the open mic night, which is at 8 o'clock Mountain Time on Monday nights. Please welcome Emily Cornelius.
Hello, can everybody see me? Am I moving?
Yes.
Yes.
Phenomenal, because mine is frozen on a picture of me doing this. Friends, it's probably palpable, even over the internet through Zoom, that I am unwell. I've been doing therapy, and something that my therapist has recommended is some more self-care. So I thought that we could do that together during my set, to kind of get into the mood. I got a robe to put on. All right. So, like I mentioned, I've been in therapy. I tested positive for needing therapy in about April. And I think my therapist is cool. She's one of the youngest therapists I've ever had. But the last couple of sessions, she's mentioned that maybe I should see her more than once a week. And I don't know if it's appropriate to have somebody like you and be your therapist. I'm going to switch back to the normal way I tell that joke. So, you know, you live, you learn. We're doing self-care. It's fine. Everything is fine. Now, this isn't my first kind of foray into therapy. I actually had a traumatic brain injury when I was 15. Not that you could tell. But I had a traumatic brain injury, and sometimes people, when I tell people that, they feel bad for me. But honestly, I am kind of proud of it. It is the closest I'll ever be to being in the NFL. I mean, already my dad thinks that both I and most NFL players are not fully formed humans, and don't deserve rights. But when I was 15, I just wasn't very receptive to therapy. You know, I was hard-headed emotionally, but soft-headed physically. Sponsored by 3 or 4 concussions. But there was one time that my mom woke me up. She woke me up before school and she said, "I forgot to tell you, you have a dentist appointment today." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Let's go to the dentist." And, oh, that's a great look. Let me put more on. So we start going to the dentist, and I noticed that my mom is not going the right way. I might be 15, but I'm not, you know, blind yet. I just bumped my head on an amusement park ride. Wasn't very fun. So we're going to the dentist appointment. We're not going the right way. And I say, "Hey, Mom, did they move? What happened? What are we doing?" And she said, "Oh, you're actually going to therapy."
Oh.
Yeah, so to retaliate, I just chewed on her slippers all week and just on the floor. How many hip hop fans do we have in the audience? Who's into modern music? We'll pretend, please.
Oh,
Thank
me.
you.
Me.
I just want to thank Cardi B and Meg The Stallion for bringing back to the public eye the little dangly thing that hangs in the back of your throat. I think it's awesome because it gives me a chance to do my uvula jokes. And I have 2 uvulas, not jokes. Which is kind of a weird flex. I'm a medical miracle, clearly. How have I stayed alive this long? I don't know. But another weird flex that I have is usually when people meet me, and my sister, they think that I'm the hotter sister. And that is until they find out that she has no uvulas. So I guess you could say that she is more beautiful on the inside. And to her boyfriend, I want to say congratulations. And to my boyfriend, I want to say, yeah, I would be mad. I'm gonna finish rubbing in my creams if you guys want to take it back from me, because I don't deserve this platform.
That's Emily Cornelius, ladies and gentlemen.
Cornelius, ladies and gentlemen.
Emily Cornelius and her emoluments of humor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She's, I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
I am.
it's
The cream of the crop is what they say, Mike.
I think she deserves it. I mean, I've always feel bad when somebody says they don't deserve this platform, when in fact they so obviously do. But you don't want
Maybe
to
the hangman's gallows.
disagree with them or anything. It's just
Mike, time for our virtual costume contest. Let's see if anybody in the audience wore a costume today.
What is this?
The group. So Emily, that winner of a good costume. Mike, do you have a costume there?
well, yes, I'm a 19th century's Ashkenazi Jew about to get kicked out of his village.
Oh, good costume. Good
Yeah.
costume. And always brings great treats.
We're the chosen people, but just once, couldn't you choose somebody else?
Phil Corridor winning for Cloud of Smoke. Way to go.
Who's a fire watcher?
It's very expensive.
Is that the little
Do Steve
Phil
Young's
I
joke.
carry?
Emily, that's a nice costume. Doing Lindsey Graham coming out of an airport bathroom. That's thank you, Stephen Young, for the contribution.
And I like your costume.
Thank you. I've switched costumes.
Justin Bieber in his "Love Yourself" video.
Yeah, the winners of the costume contest get a hug from Bieber. So just imagine that.
Yeah. Is it me
Okay.
or is he just completely devoid of any reason to live?
Yeah. Obviously, today's copyright.
He has one reason.
What's that? To spend his money.
Today's photo of choice for stock photos. Folks, if you're still watching on YouTube, we appreciate it. And we broadcast weekly on YouTube. Next week, we're going to be broadcasting virtually live from Kit Carson, Colorado. No shit, Mike. Population 233.
A town so nice, they named it after a guy from the 1850s.
Right. I just hopping and popping out there in Kit Carson.
Yeah, it's a small town, Chuck. It's a small town.
The week after that is the British Holiday Baking Show Love Story and a cornucopia of jokes later on in November. Virtual Thanksgiving is coming up. And then don't forget the Dirty Christmas Show, Friday, November 27th. Very fun.
Yes.
Holiday themed shows throughout December and New Year's Eve resolution virtual helpline. If you need help with your New Year's resolution, I've got a great group of comedians booked to help you.
Funny, last year in January, I decided I was going to start one of those, and I never did.
Well, we're here now. So, you know, we're here. One of us is queer, and we got advice for you. New Year's Eve, we have a 7 p.m. show, which is midnight, absolutely nowhere, kind of just over the Atlantic. So,
yeah, I think it's midnight in Bermuda, the island of Bermuda.
New Year's Eve show for people who want to go to bed early. So, Mike, we should thank our guest.
Jeff will be watching the ball drop on one of his twinks.
Right. That's going to happen on New Year's Eve and the night before as well. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Thanks to Phil Corridor, our VIP customer this evening. Outstanding, Phil. We've got some special gifts and prizes for you. First of all, Phil, this year, Dracula's Castle. Just imagine owning that. You can. It's yours, imaginatively and figuratively, or
Thank you.
metaphorically.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, many handholds on the walls, so you can climb straight up, upside down, sideways. It's great.
Well,
Oh,
Mike
hell yeah.
spent many a summer visiting this in his youth. So he'll tell you about his days being Bram Stoker's stroker. Phil, you've also won your own Loch Ness Monster. Happy Halloween, my friend. I thought you'd enjoy that for the week.
I already have one,
Ah, God, that's such a.
but I appreciate the gesture.
What do you get a guy who has every?
Now you can go water skiing behind them.
Right? So,
Put
and in
them
case
together.
you don't have pumpkins, we got you some pumpkins. So,
you.
hopefully you don't have a patch full of pumpkins, but either way, I'm sure Nessie and now Bessie will enjoy the pumpkins. General admission folks, we've got gifts for you up there in the balcony. We got you a pumpkin. Bill, you know, we got to hook him up, but we got you one little pumpkin for all of you to share.
Oh yes,
And some candy corn. So enjoy that, everybody.
For those of you who believe in candy, you
Right.
believe in life after candy.
I believe
I can feel some bad.
believe Candy's still working at Shotgun.
Really
Willie's.
don't think I'm strong enough.
Speaking of Shotgun Willie's,
yeah.
dancing there 7 nights a week. It's probably somebody, and it's probably not Stacey Sanders. Everybody.
No, she gets Friday nights off for the Sabbath.
Oh, Stacey, I love your costume. You win the costume contest too.
Thank you.
Way to go.
I worked hard. So thank you.
Live from the charity microwave, it's Stacey Sanders with her pitch for this. Your pitch for Elevating Connections. Go to it. Go to it.
Right. Can you tell us about Elevating Connections and the awesome work you do, please?
Absolutely. Thanks everybody. It's an old-fashioned TV. This is what I grew up with because that's, you know, I'm 53. So we had a TV, we had to get up off the couch to turn the channel, people.
Okay.
So my organization, I'm the executive director and founder of Elevating Connections. We reunite siblings separated in foster care, and we work with older youth who've emancipated out of the foster care system without a connection, a permanent family or permanent connection, by giving them opportunity to speak their truth through art and song and poetry. And really what we are all about is connecting youth who have suffered abuse and neglect with their siblings and with their community. And one of the things I used to be able to say prior to, say, March 15th, 16th of this year, imagine being separated from the people that you love. Imagine being unable to see your family and your siblings and whenever you want and wake up with them in the morning or celebrate a birthday with them. Unfortunately, now we can all imagine it. We don't have to. We're actually living it. And so where we're separated from the ones we love, what we know that is different for us is that this, I firmly believe, is temporary. But for the youth we serve, it's not necessarily temporary. Some of them may end up being separated until they're 18 and can make a decision on their own to reconnect and live with each other. So for those of us that are struggling with being apart from our families and not being able to see them the way we want to, please imagine what that would be like for siblings who have been separated through no fault of their own. And so we offer solutions and hope, because I think I just depressed everybody, but we have hope and solutions. So we offer connecting events and we run a summer camp. And this summer we did a day camp instead of overnight camp. So we pivoted, still got kids together in the time of the pandemic. We're the only camp in the country that was able to do that for siblings. And now that we're going into winter, we're still pivoting and we're still offering opportunities to connect. We're going to have a virtual holiday party with our siblings. We're going to send them cookie decorating and all sorts of stuff where we can do it with them over the Zoom. And with the other piece of what we've discovered through the pandemic is that our older youth can't connect virtually. We all take for granted the fact that we have internet access, but without libraries being open and coffee shops, the youth that I work with didn't have internet access. So we've been, through Chuck's help, we've been able to provide technology and support. We're going to continue doing that. We're going to raise money for more tablets to get them tablets. We're going to keep paying their phone bills so that they can have hotspots so they can connect to the internet. So really what we're all about is the power of connection and making sure that the youth we serve can connect with each other and their community.
It's important what you do. You give the kids a voice, a chance to get on stage sometimes,
yeah.
Which is also, you know, why we're connected. But it's just as simple as getting the kids together with the people they love, and the challenges of getting parents and foster parents of two separate groups of parents together. There's a reason you exist, and what you do is really good. So we're so glad to spend time with you every week. Look, it's not the brightest, happiest thing. It's but we're not going to run from it.
Nope.
And we'll just whatever. Sometimes life's fucked up, and at least you are empathetic enough to know that the kids need someone to connect, and this pussycat takes you seriously.
And I take
I feel
you
totally
yeah.
yeah, it's like let me keep talking about the charity while I have a pussycat face on.
I do want to say on the bright spot side of all of this is that we do offer hope and solutions, but we can't do it without so many community members. So there's so much light in the work that I do, despite the type of work that I do. So I do want to say thank you to the community, and this community in particular, Chuck and Steve and Mike. Thank you. And Emily, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. And speaking of our community, and Stacy, you jump on and watch Dear Comics at the Bar on Saturdays, which I love. It's
Makes
a
me
very
so
funny
happy.
show on Instagram, and the brainchild of a super funny person. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, would you please welcome Mr. Steve Young, the star of Dear Comics at the Bar.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Chuck. And I actually, let me speak for everyone on this show, Chuck. Nice bunting, by the way. Really.
Thank you. You can smell that? Oh, sorry.
No, it's the thing on the wall he's talking about, you idiot.
Well, actually, no, Mike. Speaking of bunting, Jacob was talking about, he was an umpire for children's baseball. I was actually a coach for children's baseball for a time. And they made me stop. They didn't like the way I would give all the kids nicknames, based on their attributes. We had Slugger and Speedy and a kid who doesn't yet know he's gay. But they just didn't like those. I don't, anyway, let me move on. I'm actually excited tonight, Chuck. I have 6 new premises to share, and and 2.3 punchlines. So we'll see if we can spread those out, or but what bothered me most this week is Pat Robertson, who is a televangelist and a shriveled head of garlic. You might have heard of him. He actually made a prediction that Donald Trump is going to win re-election, and then the Earth is going to be struck by an asteroid and everyone is going to die. And I heard that and thought, could we just flip the order? I mean, then it's fine, right? Then I'm okay. But Pat Robertson formed the 700 Club, and it's still on. I guess originally he just wanted 700 people to give him money, but now he's been doing it for so long. I think that now is his age, or maybe it's sort of the, I think it might be the combined SAT scores of his followers. But I just feel bad that what's happened to religion. I mean, it's gotten depressing when you've got guys like him saying that, or you've got the founder of the biggest American religious university, Jerry Falwell Jr., had to quit his job because it turns out he liked to stand in a hotel room wearing a Speedo while a boy he met in a hotel would have sex with his wife. And people are like, that just doesn't seem that religious. And it's not, unless you have one of those newfound Bibles, that says, when the pool boy is nailing your wife, turn her other cheek. So it's a little different now, I guess, is what I'm saying. What I don't like also is Trump is saying he got sick. He had an airlift and he had an experimental therapy or 2. I mean, he didn't give it to his wife, but he got better. But look, he paid $750, so it's fair is fair. But he's now saying people should go out and live their life, and so his followers he's encouraging to live their life. And I've just got to say, if that means going out to an airport tarmac to watch an elderly man in clown makeup complain about how many times he has to flush the toilet, maybe your life isn't worth living. I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, maybe because they might catch a fatal disease, they're really not risking that much. And so that's okay, I guess. So let me move to a brighter topic, Chuck, because this seems like it's been a little dark. Because it's been too dark. Good. Because I'm the least racist person in this room right now. And actually, that's true because, you know, my dead relatives, they were terribly racist. But here's the thing. Have you ever like met somebody, you haven't seen them in years, and you meet them and pretty soon you immediately realize this person peaked in high school. And boy, that you know, their life has been downhill ever since. Does anyone else feel that way when they see Rudy Giuliani? Because man, oh man, you know, that guy had it going on. You know, he's out there, you know, talking about the toppled towers with his Letterman jacket. Well, that part maybe not, but now he's, you know, he's been busted in a hotel room with what he thought was a 15-year-old, and it's on camera, and he's got his hands down his pants, and he says, "Oh no, I'm just tucking in my shirt." He's not tucking in his. I mean, he is obviously trying to start the old lawnmower. And you know, the most merciful thing in that scene is it was interrupted because that baby wasn't going to start. It was just the rope was going to break before that happened. And people are stunned. Oh my gosh, this man, this Law and Order guy, how could he be in a room with a 15-year-old tucking in his shirt? And I wasn't that surprised. This man, and this is true, and you can Wikipedia this, and you know, after the show, he married his cousin. This man married his cousin and needed to have an annulment because he's a good Catholic, you know, just the kind that marries their cousin. And I've always felt when you put somebody on the news and you're seeing them quoted and they put their name down on the bottom in the crawler and it says, you know, like, D from Alabama. I think when it should say Rudy Giuliani, cousin fucker. That's what it should say anytime he's on TV, so people can understand. Consider the source, I was once told. So I'll move on. I'm running. I had a joke I really want to get to, but I will say the president got upset during the debate because Joe Biden talked about people paying their bills at their kitchen table. It's like, who does that? And of course, he wouldn't know because he doesn't pay bills, right? And the only kitchen table he's even, you know, that he would ever use happens to be located in a Wendy's. So that just doesn't happen. So I will leave with this. This is true and sad, Chuck. The COVID task force, its leader, all of the people around him actually have contracted COVID. So I was wondering, well, what is the task? I guess contracting the virus is the task, and they're doing great. But the plan now, and this is true, one of Trump's cabinet members, one with, you know, a few more head injuries than Emily, I'm guessing, suggested, well, on the list of priority recipients of the COVID vaccine has to be department store Santas. That is true. They got to get the vaccine first. And people are saying, well, how are we going to even find all the department store Santas? And that's an even dumber question. All you need to do is go to the registry of sex offenders. It's easy. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good week. I don't know why I said that, but I enjoyed it. Thanks, Chuck.
Oh, I said it because it was funny. And I love the way you go out on a limb. Yeah. Fuck religion, man. Just give me something to believe in.
Terrific, buddy. Terrific. I know, Phil Corridor, did you want to say hello for a second? Do you have a joke you want to say, or can we invite you back to perform? We have one more act to go. I tried to message you in the chat. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good. I'm back home in Colorado. Yeah, so everything's fine. I just cut my hair.
Like it.
Does it look okay?
And,
I shaved my beard.
Mm.
And that's the
Does it have a
highlight.
spot on the top of your head?
It's fresh.
Yeah. That's what all the cool kids are doing these days.
Well, we'll be happy to invite you back, and glad to see you, Phil. You know, and we've got a killer headliner for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah.
Performing live from his conservatory located just outside Los Angeles. Would you please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Solomon.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Chuck. Great to be here. Well, here is the same apartment that I'm in all the time, and I never go out. My car is basically a paperweight now, so it's great to be. What I mean is, it's great to be with you, I guess is what I'm saying. By the way, I didn't know this was a Halloween thing, so I just rushed and got a costume, and my costume is old Jewish decrepit guy who rarely goes out in a black t-shirt. Got that costume together by putting on the black t-shirt. And I do want to say, guys, I enjoy being on the show. I've gotten used to coming, and I just gotta say, Mike and Chuck, I think, are the best duo. Since I put them third behind, and I hope Mike should and Chuck will know who you're third behind, which is Johnny and Ed, right?
Yeah, got it.
And then Johnny Carson, you're third behind Johnny and Tommy Newsom.
Nice.
You're third, and also don't let anybody. I just want to say, I've known Mike a long time. He is a very successful guy. He lives in the wealthy portion of Walton's Mountain. He lives next door to Ike Godsey.
Hello.
Reference, and I didn't have to look it up. It actually came to me, which is amazing. Because I'm getting old. The memory's not so good. You know how I know I'm getting old is there's stages of getting old, and early stages when you're in your early 20s and well, you're in your mid 20s and young girls stop looking at you, and then there's a stage when gay men stop looking at you, and then there's this stage when women generally stop looking at you. Here, I've gotten to this new stage. This LA cops have stopped looking at me. I can make a U-turn across the 405, and the cops just peer into my window. Yeah. Just go. So he's probably in a rush because he has to get home to pee. It's okay. Anyway, so I still haven't gotten started here. It's great to be with you all. It's great. Incidentally, I'm getting to know my family a little bit too much. We keep having every 2 weeks, we have these family, all the cousins. And I don't know, is anybody else like this, that you're getting to know your family a little better than you'd like to?
No.
Yeah, it's from home, so they're not on their they're not on their best behavior. Last week, I was like, no wonder Aunt Randy's always been so much fun. She's an alcoholic. I thought she slept on the lawn because she was outdoorsy. So I want to get right to the election. And what's going on. First of all, right on top of things, Pence, his staff has tested positive for COVID. I don't want Pence to test positive for COVID. I liked it when Trump did, because that's poetic justice. What I want is for Pence to need an abortion. That would be poetic justice. And then the other thing is, I want Attorney General Barr to be woken up by a no-knock warrant. Those are my goals for things to feel good. A lot of my liberal friends, I'm liberal too, and are happy, that Biden seems to be leading, and I'm glad Biden's leading. But the fact that, just take this: they're all happy because senior citizens in Florida are going maybe for Biden. That means there's still some senior citizens in Florida who are voting for Trump. What? And these are probably Jews. They're probably my mishpucha. It's probably Aunt Nettie and Abe and Lewis and Miriam. What the fuck do you say? It's okay, so you're voting for Trump. All right, so let me just explain. you vote for Trump raises the possibility that you will die on a ventilator saying goodbye to your kids on a cell phone. And they're like, yeah, but he's not a politician. You know, we're in a conversation and that's a relevant response. You're right. How about, you know what I just noticed? You have a flip phone. So if you die, you won't even be able to say goodbye to your kids on your cell phone. They're like, yeah, but have you seen the landscaping at Mar-a-Lago? Once again, I'm defeated by your argument. Very good. The landscaping. I couldn't be. And then you got like, and then let's say Biden does win. That still means that 40%, that the majority of white men voted for Trump. That's a conversation I want. It's like, guys, white men. Okay, so most corrupt administration in history, still voting for Trump. Okay, how about this? Good people on both sides? No, we're still voting for Trump. And then they just interrupt and they're like, what about trying to end coverage for pre-existing conditions, cozy up to dictators? Not like, see, now you're getting it. And they're like, right, you don't say the good things he does. I've been watching cable news a lot. That's actually more aggravating than Trump. Well, Trump, you know, that's a little facetious. You know, our president is Maury Povich on meth, and but what drives me up the wall with cable news is when they say, shockingly, Trump has refused to distance himself from this conspiracy theory, and I'm like, how do they not get used to the news? You know, is it like, and in other news, Japan surrenders. You are on the cutting edge, MSNBC. That's good. Then there's the reporters who are on the ground, and they will say the same thing. And like these are like individual humans who you get used to, but they're like, shockingly, Trump refused to distance himself from conspiracy. And I'm like, are these people? Is this a reporter thing, or is this like a human? Like they're just not. Like there's something in the DSM, they're just not good at getting who people are. You know, this is just like, in their regular life, they're like hitting on nuns. Like if they were running Amway, would they say, okay, our sales strategy, we got to target the meth heads. They go to Fat Burger, they like get to the front of the line. So pretty much we're in the mood for sushi. Okay, so you get what I'm saying. Anyway, incidentally, about the conspiracies, QAnon, I just want to say they have a new conspiracy that Neil Armstrong didn't land on the moon and that NASA is run by Jews and 2 pedophiles. By the way, about that, I don't mean to say, I may have gotten that wrong because that would suggest that Jews are not pedophiles. That's not the Venn diagram. They're not mutually exclusive. I just found that when I'm drinking a child's blood, I rarely get sexually excited. You're either eating and you're turned on. You know, it's one of the other. By the way, as far as the pandemic goes, let's say, hey, by the way, I never know how long the sets are here. How much time is there left?
As much as you need.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's you don't want to say that. But as far as the pandemic goes, things have improved. I got to say, as far as some ways, shopping at the supermarket has improved. Remember, like 6 months ago, I would go to the supermarket and, you know, I'd go for, I don't know, chicken, vegetables, and some bread. And I'd come home with, you know, 5 chicken jalapeno hot pockets boxes, you know. Things have improved. I actually have been buying a lot of frozen food. Does anybody buy frozen food? Like dinners, the dinners? Because it's really retro. I bought a Swanson Salisbury steak TV dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is so 1950s. On the box, it actually says you have to eat this while watching black and white TV or at a segregated lunch counter. On the box. I bought a Hungry Man dinner. Has anyone bought a Hungry Man dinner?
Never.
Not well named. Not well named. It's not a lot of food in there. I think it should be named Hungry Guy Who Has Dwarfism and a Gastric Bypass Looking for a Snack Dinner. I got the Hungry Man ravioli. There was a ravioli. That's not even true. Yeah, the Hungry Man dinners are not. Well, anyway, enough about that. So let me see. What should I? I want to speak personally for a minute. My social life, not good right now. I'm trying the dating apps. Has anybody tried the dating app? They don't. Here's what happens in the dating apps. I connect with someone on the dating app, and then they message you, and then you exchange emails. And then you do emails, and then you exchange phone numbers, and then you start texting, and then right then, I never hear from them again. So either my texting sucks, or there is an unreported rash of kidnappings of single women over 50 in LA. Please someone get back to me about what's really going on here. By the way, as far as dating, maybe I should end on this, because for comedians, I just want to say to the women out there, if you're curious, as far as dating a comedian, I think dating a comedian is sort of like, for women dating a male comedian is sort of like males wanting to date strippers. Our job performance is not indicative of what we're like off stage. So we're not a lot of fun. We're not always telling jokes. Mostly we're depressed and we're telling you we wish we'd been musicians. I dated a lot of strippers. They're not, this is what's really upsetting. They don't offer you at home a lot of lap dances, but even more upsetting, they're not good listeners. Totally not. Actually, I just want to say I've never dated a stripper. I'm, that type of guy I'm just the type of guy who says he dated a stripper so I can look like a player, I did date a woman who worked at a strip club, but she was the bouncer. Very, very different body type in case. But no, I dated a Victoria's Secret model.
Woo.
Yeah. Well, not really. She worked. She was a Malaysian seamstress, so she worked for Victoria's Secret.
Oh my God.
Kind of the same thing. So let's wrap it. I'm going to wrap it up by saying, let's see. Someone was saying that it was a sort of depressing show, and I think the antidote to that is to watch. If you want to be a good American, watch America's Game, which is anybody? Wheel of Fortune.
Baseball. Oh.
Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is America's Game. Those are the most fucking cheerful people. And I'm not just talking about Vanna. It's like Vanna White, one of the great careers in the history of American capitalism. She had a job for 20 years turning letters. And she made $20 million a year. That is clearly the best paid manual labor job ever in America. Then they got rid of that. They now illuminate the letters automatically, and she still got her job. Automation, no effect. This would be like if farmers in the 30s, when they invented the tractor, had kept their jobs. The agribusiness company said, you keep their job, but no longer try and harvest the crops. We just want you to stand in the field, wave and smile. But these are very cheerful people on America. What's amazing me is when what happens is you can lose your money, hit bankrupt, and then it's not your turn, and they turn to the next person and they applaud for the next person. So I can't believe one person hasn't, one time just pulled out a gun and said, I'm spinning again. Put your hands up, give me all the vowels. That would be me, because I'm just not, I wouldn't even be cheerful when I'm winning. I watch the Wheel of Fortune, I'm like, somebody wins $2,000, and I'm like, yeah, but what is it after taxes? That's as cheerful as I can be. Get out there and vote. Contribute to the charity for the kids. Thank you and good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan.
Jonathan Solomon, ladies and gentlemen, bringing the heat. Bringing the heat. Fresh take on the Wheel of Fortune, man. White still has a job because she's grandmothered in.
Right.
And by the way, Jonathan is a very funny man in his own right, but I really like it when he gets up there and does that stuff about wearing a black T-shirt, because that's all I ever wear. And I appreciate another guy who would wear a black T-shirt. It's what's for dinner. We got a wonderful show tonight, Chuck. Is there anything?
I agree. Would you like to turn your camera on so we can see you there, big dog? Or are you shy for the rest of the night?
My son is a lot more handsome than I am, and I'd rather be looking at him, to be honest.
Right.
But okay,
well,
I'm back on. It's a Halloween thing, and I'm.
That was our Halloween episode.
That's it. Well, there you go. I mean, look at that. It's
I really enjoyed your costume and
my Golden Pumpkin Awards. Why do you keep bringing out my awards?
Right. Please hang out next week when we are virtually live from.
Yes, you'll need to know this. The town is out of date. I'll tell you, it's out of date.
Mike, how out of date is it?
Well, remarkably out of date. Oh, you wanted a joke. Okay. They have a place called the Good Shepherd Inn there, and it's where Jesus stayed. You actually have to be a good shepherd to go there. That's how.
Yeah, Mike, why didn't you let him sleep there?
I let who sleep there?
Jesus.
Jesus is a her?
She's implying you were working the manger, Mike.
Never mind.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'm an old man. Sometimes I don't get the kids' humor and stuff. Because I heard a lot of laughs during the application of face cream. Anyway, let's not get into that. And here's a couple of people holding their nose, apparently at my last joke. So, yeah.
One is holding her nose, the other is just sneaking in for some gold, Mike.
That's sideage.
What can you do?
And there's the exit back down to the bomb shelter.
Look, Phil, be careful as we exit the ApocaLips comedy show. The neighborhood's sort of gone.
Oh, hey, Chuck, I saw a movie a couple of days ago, and that corner was in the movie.
Phenomenal. This one right here?
This is the exact corner. Yeah.
Bam.
I don't remember the name. I don't remember the name of the movie, but it was.
It's probably on Pornhub, Mike. What we're looking at is Boston's comedy.
No, Chuck. Chuck, it wasn't on Pornhub.
I tease. Just giving the kids a little history lesson. This is right around the corner from Nick's Comedy Stop in Boston. Right around the theater district in Boston was adjacent to what was called the Combat Zone, and provided a wide variety of nightlife for us to enjoy, hang out with after shows. You met, nice people from all sorts of communities,
all walks of life.
Right. Street walks of life is how that you could.
This is left. You'll see Christina when she takes the towel off.
Right. And look, in the past, we've had a policy that when you see the guy in gold, it's time to end the YouTube live. Because you folks are typically not invited to the sing-along that happens after the show. But YouTube, you were so good. We heard you singing along in the earlier sing-along, and you stayed through what was, probably one of our weirdest shows in a few months. So if you're hanging out, we do a little sing-along at the end. You follow the bouncing Golden Globe. Mike sings the song. He doesn't know the words, he doesn't know the tune, but he sings the song. So Mike will follow along with you on the count of 1 and 2, and the Mike Alanga worthy.
Thank you, Wiener.
Thank you, Wiener.
Thank you.
Comedy
Sinners.
It was a great
show.
Mike is a good host.
Good host.
Sorry.
He works hard at that improving.
Works hard at improving, Chuck.
Keep up the hard work, Mike.
Make sure to one of these. One day you'll be.
One day you'll be as funny.
Guess who makes the lyrics?
One day you'll be as funny as Chuck.
As Chuck.
I'm not sure I have enough time left in my life to read.
Shadu beat.
God,
Chuck.
Chuck rock.
How you doing, everybody?
Now the second verse, same as the first.
Oh, by the way, month's time on the mic.
Say what, Christina?
Oh, Phil said he could do a tight set.
Oh, I know that.